Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV. And as you can see, we're once again joined by Morgan from Old Oak. This is right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know why I thought it was wrong.
No.
Well, there we go. Got it right. So today we're going to have a hoopy time. Oh, yeah, bad joke. This afternoon, hoopy time. And you're going to do something with a hoop. These are very popular at the moment in the balloon industry and in the florist industry, I guess.
They are.
But you can, as you were saying to me just now, you can leave the hoop naked and just have part of it
I
decorated.
think there's a trend now that you can see the bare bones of stuff and actually make it part integral to the design.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's not offensive.
Yeah.
So to be able to use, these moon arches and these full circles are very popular, but you can see the bare bones with the right design.
Yeah. But you could also do it with balloons, so part balloons, part florist.
Which is incredibly popular, which I hope you'll be able to take some of this and put it into the balloon as well.
So what are you going to show us?
So there's two things. So with our Oasis products in floristry, we tend to use these two different products. Generally, there's many others, but these are the two most popular.
Yeah.
We have the floret, which my glamorous assistant is actually going to just grab me the other floret. Oh. We also have the Oasis netted garland, which is this box here.
The other glamorous assistant.
My glamorous assistant, Debbie McGee here. So we have, this is the Oasis netted garland. It comes in a box like this. You can see it, so it's pre-netted. You can soak it, or in this fashion we're using dried and artificial. And we will, there you go, that's the floret. We're using dried artificial, but we are using this dry. You can wet it if you're using fresh, or you can wet it and use a combination of both if you want to. But I'm going to be using it dry and showing you a way of adding just a very few simple fresh blooms to the finished design.
Fresh balloons?
Blooms.
Oh, okay.
B-L-O-O-M-S.
Okay.
Blooms. Fresh balloons.
Balloons.
Balloons freshly made.
Okay, excellent.
And this is the floret. So as you can see, with the floret, has this handle here. So this, you can easily, you can suspend. Mm-hmm. So it has the hole here. It also has a hole at this end too.
Yeah.
So we would be able to attach this to the actual hoop itself easily.
Two different products to do a similar thing in this case.
Yeah, very, very similar. So this is very good at making sort of nice, big, chunky, which is very on vogue right now, these big, chunky designs like this, with all the dried. We've got these dried Raffles palms, so we've just sprayed these using the Oasis spray paint.
Yeah.
This is obviously the pink and the white. As you can see, they would this colour, and then they take spray wonderfully.
Really well, yeah.
Yeah, so we've used, this is in the Oasis floret. So we will be attaching it sort of afterwards. We're going to make it. So this is a product you can make, take down, keep, and add should you need to. On this occasion, I will be showing you a way of just adding in some fresh florals as well as a finishing touch. But overall, the entire, without damaging the Oasis floret, I will be not inserting the fresh product into this because we're keeping it dry because we want this to last.
Okay.
So if you're to wet this, of course, it may get moisture on here and you don't want any damage to happen to these.
So it's mainly dried and artificial.
And dried and artificial into this one, yes.
So what happens when you put live flowers into dried Oasis?
They just don't drink. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
So it would last for an event, say a day or...
It would last maybe, depending on the variety, maybe 30 minutes to an hour max.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. The moment fresh do not have access to water, they start to wilt.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that quick. I didn't expect that.
They're not happy. If it was in heat and it was outside with the sun shining, you'd be lucky to last an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if 30 minutes.
Yeah. Amazing.
So some of the softer roses, of course, would go over in 10 minutes. So yeah, absolutely. That's why Oasis is essential to us for our fresh products, because it keeps everything living and looking perky for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got this lovely, nice cream dried pampas. Mm-hmm. So this is a small, sort of almost miniature variety. I chose this because it has beautiful natural flow. It gives some lovely movement. Imagine that sort of outside. It's quite, would give a nice feeling to the overall design of the day. We're using some nice spray roses, some hydrangeas.
Is this all stuff we got from
blooms.
our warehouse?
I stole this from your warehouse.
We've got quite a good selection.
You have a great. I felt really spoiled because your
Yeah.
selection was actually was very, very good. You know, even I mean that's almost a sort of a product in itself. I mean, I won't be cutting this. A lot of them I'll be cutting down because I need to manipulate. But that I'm going to use in its entirety towards the end as well.
Awesome.
You know, sort of all these lovely whites and creams and these oriental lilies as well. So we've got those. I've cut those down off of the branch. But yeah, everything here you have in your warehouse.
Brilliant.
Including, you know, the palms, the pampas and everything else. The floret, I think you do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you have those as well. So the Oasis florets are available. So really, this is essentially you.
Apart from the fresh flowers.
Apart from the fresh flowers, which we will add as a little finishing touch at the end.
Yeah.
Just because, again, they've got two of my favourite classic pink tones that we would use. So, as you can see, I've started creating the base. Before I I just put the palms on, just to get the natural flow of where I want it to follow the way in which the circle flows. I wanted to make sure that the pampas grass was replicating that. So as you can see, I kind of just, within reason, made sure that it was going in the right direction, you know, sort of the same direction, just to give it that really nice natural look, flowing in the right direction. So I'm going to add a couple more just of these. Now these are great because they really quickly fill a space.
And they're very fashionable at the moment.
They are incredibly trendy. I think these are, you know, we use them in everyday floristry, in, you know, sort of fresh bouquets as well as artificial bouquets, dried bouquets, where, you know, they're great because you can use them across all the different areas of floristry. They take colour, they spray. Yeah. You can spray them with colour, they come back. And then you can spray them a different colour.
Yeah, yeah.
But of course, you know, we want a mix here. I've tried to use a mix of the pink, the white spray, and the natural. You've got two of the natural. You've got a bleach natural and a regular, just, you know, not enhanced in any way. And that's the sort of the non-changed, you know, that's how it would naturally dry.
So how do you bleach these sort of things? You say bleached?
Yeah, so those would be bleached. So they'd either be, you know, sort of sprayed with the bleach, left to dry, and then put into like a silica room, and then they extract all the moisture for quick dry, and then they stay perfectly. Then they don't mold or rot. Yeah. There's lots of different ways that can happen. So now we're going to start adding a few florals. I'm gonna, you know, let's go with the nice chunky hydrangea because. Why not? Again, a nice wedding classic here. So we're going to have this one being quite cheeky and poking out over here. I mean, already filling the space up quite nicely.
So I've never really thought of flowers as filling space because in my mind you get, you know, like an individual rose head, and so you need lots. But look at some of these; they're huge.
Yeah, I mean, that instantly. And the beauty of this is you can sell this. Imagine, you know, we've just gone through a summer of extreme heat. You know, imagine if you thought, oh my goodness, you know, hydrangea, the clue's in the name, hydrangea, they love water. Yeah. If they don't have access to a lot of water, they can go over very quickly. Okay. The quality of this hydrangea means that I would be it would be highly unlikely that anyone would look at the finished design if you were doing it in fresh and you needed to add this artificial hydrangea that they would even know. Yeah. Because the quality is there. Yeah. Yeah, it does amaze me sometimes looking at some of these artificial flowers, how real they look. Yes, and you know, and that's good for these types of things. We need to, you know, we would hate something to look, very plastic or not very good. So I'm now going to be just popping in a couple of these artificial pink roses, different shades of pinks and whites is perfect. A couple of the lilies as well. Two or three of these. And just keep sort of adding, distributing the colour really nice and evenly.
It does amaze me how quickly it starts to come together.
Yes.
It's great.
Especially, you know, another good thing about having the artificial is that if something's not quite right, you know, flowers normally don't do that. If you bend them into where you need them to, the artificials will, of course. And you know, there's a very big trend again in this artificial, these artificial flowers.
Yeah.
So using the foliage is up too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's all, you know, the good thing is foliage is perfect on these, whereas foliage isn't all, you know, the bloom might be gorgeous on a fresh flower, but the foliage might not be so wonderful. However, in this instance, we know it's all good. So you don't often need to buy a lot of foliage to fill this, because the foliage on it can be used using some of this nice natural grasses as well. We're going to really sort of give some movement and some natural flow, making sure that we're covering all of the space.
So we had a conversation earlier on, or you and Michelle were having a conversation earlier on about your favourite flower.
Yes.
So have you got a favourite flower?
I do. It changes often with the season, but generally I love Black Widow Iris.
Okay.
Because I think I'm spoiled, because I have sort of 250 varieties all the time in my shop.
Yeah.
So I get, you know, from these beautiful Vanda, from Ansu Pure Vanda and Cymbidiums and tropical, you know, all the different orchids, and there's so many. And every time something comes in or a new variety, I'm like, oh my God, you know, I love Bouvardia because it's a square flower and all these wonderful, interesting things. I just love them. But
a square flower.
Yeah, they're really, I love Bouvardia. And my friend Tinica and her brother Yap, they grow the best, in my opinion. I love them. But I often think if I had to ultimately choose one, it would be maybe a little bit morbid. But I think, you know, for me, what would the one I want to have at my funeral, my ultimate favourite?
Yeah.
And that would be the Black Widow Iris, because they're just stunning. But they're not available all the time. So
I've always said,
just a couple of weeks a year.
I've said, so you've got to die at a particular
Yeah,
time of year.
Put on ice maybe, put on ice for a while. I don't mind, as long as I get what I want.
I've always said at my funeral, I'll probably, because you can get these cardboard coffins now.
Oh yes,
different
yes,
types.
Yes.
But they do one that's a wine bottle.
Oh, perfect.
I thought that'd be great. I could go in a bottle of wine.
I've never seen
I mean, I don't
that
drink that much, but I do like wine.
But I wouldn't mind being, you can be put in an egg and become a tree or something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that, you know, because back to nature, you know, I've been playing with it my whole life. Maybe someone will design something great with me one day.
Did you see that? It was a video on TikTok or Instagram Reels or something, and it was an Irish guy who died, but before he died, he made a recording and got his son to put it in the coffin with the speaker. And it was, hey, let me out of here.
Oh, God, I did see, yes. Yeah, what a great sense of humour, right?
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. So, as you can see, this is kind of almost finished. It's really sort of coming together. The beauty of these is that often, you know, you can kind of get it almost finished, and then you can put it up, and then just, you know, hide the mechanics at the end.
Yeah.
That's a good quality one, that one.
What's so tough? Has it got wire in the middle of it?
Yeah, so these are very strong wires, and you just need to sometimes work at them. There you go, just like that.
So what's the majority of your business? Is it funerals? Is it weddings? Is it people for whatever reason? Do you know?
It's a real mix. I mean, the beauty, that's a good thing about working with Fresh Florals, is that I get to be a part of every occasion. Hatches, matches and dispatches. I get them all. Yeah. So not only is do they get encouraged by the season, but, you know, and then all the anniversaries, and So I'd say the large majority of what we do is very gifting.
Okay.
So, people come in and say, happy birthday, I miss you, I love you.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe I don't love you. All these different sort of reasons we're creating for. We do, of course, weddings, events, and a real mix of stuff, which makes our job really interesting because we get to be a part of everything.
Well, I saw your very impressive big heart on TikTok.
Oh, that was lovely.
That's amazing.
It was great fun. So that was for a campaign called Love Not War.
Yeah.
And my friend, my colleague and very good friend Nicola from Bouquet Florist in Eastbourne, go give her a like, she's amazing. So me and Nicola did that job with the lovely, on behalf of the lovely Fleuremettes and the Love Not War campaign.
Okay.
So we were given a lot of flowers to go and install a huge heart into Camden Lock.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, that was great fun. Really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty special. It's big, eh?
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah.
It took somewhere in the region, I believe, of 5,500 flowers to heads.
Really?
Yeah.
How long did it take? Because obviously it was sped up on TikTok.
Oh no, we did it in 19 seconds.
Okay, that's really impressive.
No, we didn't, of course. It took about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 hours with just two of us. But again, sort of once you get sort of going, it's quite easy.
Yeah.
And sort of just following that form. But yeah, that was good. That was great fun, and I get great opportunities to do lots of really interesting stuff like that.
Yeah.
And of course, again, that is your perfect example. That heart, if you see the video, take a look. That's the perfect example how I could not have done my job very easily without Oasis Floral Products.
Yeah.
Because I needed their foam. I did use, a biodegradable foam for that particular one because I wanted it to be a bit more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, I used that particular foam, and it was it was just brilliant fun. I get loads of opportunities. So that's again, as I said, the perfect example of how we wouldn't have been able to do our job without the foam.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this just needs a couple of finishing touches, which I think I might get you to add, if that's okay.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, why not? Come on, let's give it a go. So,
it normally goes wrong when I give it a go.
No, there's no such thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if I don't like it, I've got a great poker face.
Am I? Okay. You're not just going to be shaking your head. Oh,
no.
Why did I ask this guy to do something?
So, what you want to do is you kind of want to just cast your eye over and think, right, where is there a natural, is there a natural gap?
There's not.
And,
there might be.
Yeah,
there's a hole there.
That's exactly where I wanted that one. Yeah,
okay.
very good. I might.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's
perfect. That's great. And then.
Oh, is this near another one though?
That's all right. That's okay. Yeah. No, that's perfect because Mother Nature, grows quite. She can grow randomly as well as quite evenly. Okay. So. It's about, as long as they're not touching.
Okay.
There's a really good, cute little rule that someone once taught me. And she said, each variety must have a hand's width. She goes, and if you don't remember that, always allow room for the butterflies to flow through.
Okay.
And I was like, that's a really good way of remembering.
Yeah.
So each variety must have enough, gap that allows normal, natural,
really
nice movement.
Yeah.
And you can do that with your dried, your silks, your artificials, your fresh, with everything that you would create.
What a tip.
Yeah. So this one, I think we just want in there. And I think I'm going to poke, a good...
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah, absolutely. That one can poke in there as well, yeah. Poking is a technical term. I hope you're listening.
I've not heard it before, so
that's excellent. And
then
I'm
doing a good
I think
job
we
here.
just want one in here as well, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can spin that round.
Oh, yeah. And just anywhere there.
Yeah.
Like that. What's it hitting? Oh, no, there you go.
There you go. Excellent. So really, the idea is that you want to... I know.
I'm a florist.
You are. Yeah, you're 50% there. You want to see is that when this is up, that you can then look at it from, you always take a step back and look at, we're going to put it on there now. I'm going to get you to hold it on the frame. I'll step on the back and we'll just cable tie that on.
Okay.
We'll take a couple just in case.
I can hold. Well, I hope I can hold.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
there we go.
we're putting it on that way?
Yeah. So, there you go, like that. So we might need a couple of these. And always put them on loosely to begin with. And then you can always tighten them up. That's the beauty of a cable tie.
Okay.
So you can wire this, of course, if you need to. A bit of wire for added security, but I generally use Oasis wire to help manipulate and secure the things in.
Yeah.
So if you just hold that for me, I'm just going to then pop a couple more on to make sure that these work well. So can you feel sort of how firm that fits onto there now, yeah? So it should start feeling quite like it won't move anywhere. Just let that go for me. Oh, yeah, there you go, perfect. So now let me get some scissors.
I've got to see what you've done.
Yeah, so it's so it's quite, and then you can easily cut that off and put it on at your next event, maybe change the colour or hang it in your shop, hang it in your home, you know, sort of reimagine that into, you know, different circumstances. Maybe you can rent it out, but you can, you know, you've got that then to keep.
Yeah.
To add a couple of fresh florals in, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 3 of these heads, again using, I know we've used this in a previous one, but it is one of my favourites and a very good classic one for weddings is the Miss Piggy Rose. Now we've got these Oasis spiked tubes.
Yep.
Sediment tubes, I believe they're called. So Oasis sediment tubes, they come in a standard 3 different lengths. They come in sort of a short, this is the midi, the medium, and then you get a very long one too. So the long ones are great if you're using maybe just a lovely Vanderhead or something that is naturally a short stem. This is a way of putting them into large, big designs, and you know, sort of keeping them up with everything else, so that you couldn't normally use a very short-stemmed product in a big design. However, because this foam is, of course, dry, this then is cut and put into this little sediment tube.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that the reason you would use that?
This is the reason I'm using this on this occasion, because I just wanted to add a little flash of this true Miss Piggy Rose. They have natural break points as well. So if you wanted it that length, you have it that length. If you want it that length, you have it that length. So you don't have to use scissors on them. They have natural break points.
Perfect.
All of them, apart from the short, do that. Oasis have considered that. So as you can see, I'm going to then just pop those into there, and it blends. And so it has now a water source it will drink.
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about this going over because of the little cap that it sits in. It will drink all day. The bride's going to be happy.
So how long would that last? Would that last for a day?
Oh, easily the day. Yeah. No problem. Easy peasy, right?
Yeah.
Tricks, all right? When you know how, and this is why, again, Oasis Floral Products are the best, because they have considered all of these things and they give us all these amazing tools to be able to create optical illusions and making us, once again, the best floral magicians in the industry. There you go.
I do love your term, floral magician. It's brilliant.
So there you go. So that's just by adding a couple of, if you needed a very particular colour and it's only available in fresh, that's how to get around it.
Yeah.
By using that. So there you go. So that, you know, imagine that with your balloons either side.
Yeah.
It could be a real statement piece, right?
Absolutely stunning.
And was going to last for a long time. Yeah. Now what we're going to do is then we're just going to add, so again, this Oasis, the netted garland. What we have here is you can cut these down. Each one can be cut into 2s or singles without the cage breaking, because they're double pinned. Okay. So around the connector, there's 2 connectors so they can be cut so that they don't.
That's these little rose gold colour
Absolutely,
things.
yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, Alex.
Yeah.
But yeah, cut between there. And
so you can cut between those and you're not having to worry. So you can do them in 2s, 4s, you can double them up, you can wrap them round. I've simply cable tied these on, and then you can, again, you know, you could do that with wire depending on this type of frame that you are using.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a few florals into here.
I do feel like I've been very ignorant. It's so nice to actually see how the products we sell are supposed to be used. So what else would you use this for, this netted garland? Obviously you've got hoops and things. What else?
Yeah.
Can you use it for in front of tables and stuff like that?
So yeah, it's actually very, very popular design that we've done a lot of, is having a really lovely big table center. And there's a trend right now, as I've seen with balloons as well, where it sort of cascades and falls down the edge of the table onto the floor, almost like, you know, this lovely drip, and it sort of splays out. It can look very, very trendy. It's very en vogue. It can be done either very heavily or very simply. That netted garland is then your perfect product. You just simply put a container or a dish or something on the floor, which you would then work into so that it catches the water. You would then attach it to, say, your table center, attach two ends with some really heavy duty Oasis wire, and it can run down the edge, and then you can fill it. And then that has that beautiful cascade from a table design. I mean, within reason, it's kind of limitless, you know. It's as far as your imagination will take you, really, with that type of product. But this is what it's very commonly used for, and the table design, of course. This one I'm going to use in its entirety. These I will just cut, and we're going to just add them to that garland on the ring.
There is something so nice about flowers. I mean, we talk about added value. You've mentioned it before about perceived value, and they just look so. I mean, balloons do as well. But it's a very different sort of thing, and I just think you can add some. That's just amazing. What value is that to somebody? It's not the cost of the product and add a bit.
No,
and it's the impact.
The beauty and the impact of that is that it's rentable.
Yeah,
of course. So you can imagine and reimagine with that. You know, if the bride loved that colour but wanted a real like cerise pink or a real bold green or something in it, you just add and reuse. So it's a bit like a boomerang. You know, it goes to the venue, to the event or wedding, comes back, you can keep them.
Right.
It's almost again another limitless product of what you can do with it. So we're just going to be adding a few of these into this design. We probably won't have everything completely covered on this occasion, just because I didn't want to be too greedy and take everything.
I felt you were quite greedy anyway.
But of course, this gives you a really good example of how this can be built up and layered, and how easy it is to use this foam in this design.
Just in the few things you've put in there now, and that sort of garlandy thing, it's already.
You mean the Oasis netted garland?
No, the garlandy flower thing.
Yes.
You're using in its entirety.
In this? Oh yeah, of course. I mean, lovely things like wisteria, artificial wisterias are beautiful hanging down as well, aren't they? I couldn't find any of those on this occasion. The one I did find, I felt may have been a bit too heavy. We needed a thinner one, but you had almost everything I could have dreamed of out there. So I felt very spoiled.
Cool.
And I took full advantage, as you can see.
You did. That's what it's about, though. It's about demonstrating the products and seeing, you know, how these products can make such a difference to your business.
Yeah, oh, of course, yeah.
And of course, the technique involved, you know.
Yeah, of course, and you know.
I mean, you're doing something here.
Apparently.
And these hoops are just ridiculously popular at the moment.
They are, and I see so many different shapes and designs with them. You know, people are very, very imaginative. We learn all the time as well. It's not just, you know, every time I see something new on social media or on Instagram, or I see a friend doing one, I'm amazed. I think, oh, I love the way, they've done that. Again, with the, things like those palms, they're so trendy.
Yeah, yeah. We like this hoop, and we sell this hoop because it breaks down into small pieces. Let me show you. It actually fits in this bag. Don't know if everybody's aware. That's what it fits in. Look. So it just means it's easy to get in the boot of a car. So that's why we chose that one. Because there are bigger ones that are just 3 pieces, but you need quite a large car or van to use those.
I was amazed how quickly you put this up actually when I got here.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, we're going to use this today. And I thought, oh, I've got time to go and have a cup of tea. I can go and relax for a bit. I didn't even have time to finish my sentence before it was constructed. And I believe it could go even bigger than this.
Not this one, no. This is connected by numbers though. So you see you've got your numbers here.
Oh, right.
So it's really, even I can do it. And Alex.
Even Alex can do it. Poor Alex. So again, if this was being wet, the foam was wet, we would use these lovely these pink blooms as well.
What are these?
So these are chrysanthemum blooms, so
Okay.
Rossano pink. These are blooms that they're big, they're fun, they're bold. Chrysanthemum blooms, they last really well. So if this was wet foam, I would place straight into the wet foam. But you can see how you can then mix. I don't think that detracts too much from either. One doesn't stand out from the other. It's to give you an example about how easy they combine beautifully well with because of the quality of your silks, the bloom, it doesn't detract from each other again. So if the bride wanted a very particular flower variety or colour, you could easily introduce that and fill it full of your artificials. Once they're cut, again, they can go into a box, or you can just snip it off and reuse it again as it is. That is very easy to reuse. This one's a little bit more difficult, but you just can keep reusing the artificials and always keeping the on-trend flower of the bride specifics.
Yeah.
So that can easily be used time and time and time again.
I said you kept a tidy place.
And not so much anymore, right?
It's gone a bit awry. You don't want to see behind here.
No,
you definitely don't want to see
I was
behind
good the first time I came, and now I've been naughty. But yeah, that's kind of, so obviously seeing how this can be, you would obviously feel that a lot more, but it gives you a very good example of how those garlands can be used on the circular frame.
Yeah.
That gives you a very, again, you can cut those down in between the balloon sections should you wish to. If you were having a dual purpose, the balloons and the artificials, you can use the garland in its entirety. That's doubled up. So really that could be double length if you wanted to, but I've doubled it up on this occasion. It just gives you the idea of how that can be constructed, and that gives you the idea of how to use the Oasis Floret.
Morgan, thank you so very much. And if you want to have a look on Balloon Market and have a look at all the Oasis products, you can go to, I think it's manufacturer, Oasis Floral Products, but on the website it is Oasis. Sorry, Michelle, it's just we fit Oasis on far better than Oasis Floral Products. And you can have a look at everything that we sell. But Morgan, thank you so much. Now, as a guest on BMTV, you get to ask the question of the week, as you know by now.
Yes.
So have you got one prepared? Or have you forgotten? Hold on, we've got somebody.
Oh, someone is.
Somebody's going to tell us.
What is the one product or tool you couldn't live without?
That's a great.
That's quite a good one.
That
is quite a good one. There'll be an insight into the floristry world.
Yes. So no matter whether you're in balloons, flowers, or any creative, what is the one tool that you could not live without?
That's a really good one.
That is a great one.
Great, good question, Morgan.
What would your tool be that you couldn't live without?
Oh, I don't know. I don't use many tools.
A pen.
A computer, a phone. Yeah. Phone, I guess. That's too easy. Don't say phone, because we all use phone for photographs and stuff. But I guess phone.
They do say pen is mightier than the sword, do they not?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great question. Well done, Morgan, for that. Thank you once again, and thank you everybody out there for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you've not subscribed, please do, and hit the little bell icon, and you'll be notified every time we upload a new show. And check us out on Instagram as well. Now stay happy, stay positive, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Bye.